Hey everyone, welcome to a special Versus video. I'm Gerry Thompson here with Ross Merriam, Brad Nelson, and we're going to be doing some Team Sealed in preparation for Grand Prix DC, run this weekend by Star City Games, so should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the event.
Team Sealed, generally very challenging, probably the most skill testing format in all of Magic.
I'm pretty confident that it is, and why I was nervous to do this video to show just how bad I am at building decks.
That's fair. It's weird that we're comparing it side by side to the other team who's going to be building from the same pool, right? Where it's like, man, what if they just make us look really silly?
Well,
know?
yeah, and that's the strategy going in, right? Like this is kind of like a bear attacks us, and you just have to outrun your friend. You don't have to outrun the bear.
I mean, I guess that's fair, but
you just have to be better than them.
That doesn't necessarily help us prep for the GP, though.
That is true.
But yeah, we're gonna build better decks than the other team, no questions asked. So, yeah.
I mean, this is exactly what we're going to get at Grand Prix DC. So let's actually find out what's in this box.
It's just an empty box. That's all you get.
It's in the box. Oh wow, there's a lot of things in the box.
So a lot of paperwork, deck list.
Are we getting sued?
No, not if you sign the waiver, man. It's fine.
Okay. This is a pink slip. Am I fired?
Surprise! Got some 3 months of premium, some Stoneforge Mystics.
Here you go, Ross. You might need these.
Thank you. Thank you.
A bunch of lands, some pens,
A voucher for your playmat.
and a holdout settlement.
So the cool thing about this tournament that is nothing like I've ever seen before is the deck registration for each player. It only has the cards that are in the box. So like, not only is like you don't have to look through the entire seal pool and write down exactly what's in your deck. That's already been done. But these are just all the cards that we have. We don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
It's so huge.
They should have just put each deck list with the cards that we should be playing in each of our decks. That would be more helpful.
That's the next step. Yeah.
But this saves us like 10 minutes during the process, which is nice.
Unbelievable.
Every single time I've done Team Sealed, I've just been scrambling to write my deck list with 30 seconds on the clock.
So I guess you're player C?
I guess. We got these sweet wristbands to denote
I'm player A.
which player is which. Put Gerry in the middle so he can tell us both what to do.
Well, he won't tell us what to do. He'll just tell us what we're doing wrong.
So,
Sure.
yeah. So first off, I think just sort them by color, and then we can go
They
through
are
at that
sorted
point.
by color.
Ooh, well,
And all these
Our
tokens.
work has been for us. Take the rest of these black cards.
all right, we have a lot of non-basic lands, which I guess is pretty normal for 12 packs.
It's also really good.
12 is so many packs. All right, we have some sweet gold cards.
What I want to find is where our sweet rares are.
We've got a decent rare. Oh no. Oh no. Jace is showing up in our pool, but just only
With his
oaths.
oath, yeah.
Double oath.
So I think the important thing to look for in Team Sealed is the synergies. So things like Devoid and things that can take advantage of those are going to be a pretty big deal. And it's pretty nice that all the colorless cards look differently. So I'm just like kind of trying to pull out the colorless cards, and
It's also nice that we do not have any Ondu War Clerics.
that's not nice actually.
I know,
That's the opposite of nice.
Real
Brad.
bad.
That
Communication is really important in Team Sealed, Brad.
yeah. So
Got to get this down.
curb the sarcasm, man. All right. Yeah, Ondu War Cleric.
We got two of.
Okay, well that's
buddy.
good. That's good. So we have a lot of colorless sources. What do we have for colorless cards? Is there another colorless stack, or is this it? Nope, this is
No,
it.
This is it.
No, I just have green cards.
All right, get to take advantage of that with 2 Kozilek's Pathfinders. Woo! What's up? Our actual colorless cards are not very good. We do have 2 Captain's Claws. Those should probably go somewhere.
We have a double blinding drone though. Double blinding.
Okay,
drone,
yeah, that helps.
Double
that helps.
gravity negator.
So our Carlos deck is going to be blue.
Yep.
Green is a bunch of creatures. Looks way more aggressive than Rampy. We got double Saddleback Legak.
General Tazri too. Put that with the Captain's Claws probably.
Do we have anything for that K return?
There's a Devastator, and that is it. Endless one, I guess. Endless one
We have
counts.
an endless one. That's good.
So we have a Drana's Emissary and a Reflector Mage.
We have all of the life gain payoff cards, but only one enabler.
No, we have 2. We have the Emissary too.
Oh, okay.
That's still not a lot, but... Serene Steward, yep.
Wow, look through that white again to make sure I didn't miss any underworld cards. Because we really have all of the cards that like life gain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's fine because you just have like this ally draw engine.
Mm-hmm. Decent removal.
And then if you get to draw your emissary or envoy and protect it, should be pretty good.
No. We're online.
Yeah, that's kind of a stretch, but like I said, we do have a lot of colorless lands. We even have 2 wastes if we want to use those, but generally not.
Very few blue creatures outside of the colorless cards.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
So many non-basic lands. Blue, black, blue, white, red, black, green, black. A lot of unknown shores. So what does the red actually look like? We probably can't do like a Molten Nursery thing, unfortunately. I don't think we have enough stuff. Does black have devoid stuff?
I mean, we've got all this devoid stuff. I mean, it's not the worst.
Looks pretty medium.
I mean, it is very medium.
Maybe blue-red could be a thing, I don't know. So second step, I think, is look for allies.
We have a Ruinous Path over here, too. So we do have a good black removal spell. A Rising Miasma, which, oddly enough, might be good when there's going to be decks that lean so...
Yeah, I think with more packs, like the card pool gets deeper and people's decks stop looking like draft decks really, and they're more kind of just like block constructed decks. You know, so like everyone's gonna have a really good curve, and that means generally being like pretty aggressive and having a lot of 2-drops. So Infests I think are pretty good. So we have the K Return and the Miasma, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
But then on the other end, people's decks have a very high density of the top uncommons and rares and good removal spells, which makes it feel a bit more like sealed.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that. But it's like, as long as you don't get beaten down, you know, maybe like your deck can take advantage of the long game stuff too.
Yeah.
So I think we want to do some sort of ally thing.
We got 1 million McKinley patrols if we can ally with some...
Yeah, you have the Soothsayers. Captain's Claws, Tazri, like there's definitely something there.
Is Captain Claws any good? Every time I've played with it, it has been mediocre at best.
Really? I like that card.
I have not been impressed with it.
Let me see the Black Devoid cards.
Got that right for you here, Captain.
Appreciate it.
We do have a Stalking Drone for the green deck if we need colorless sources in that. But
okay.
That's about it.
Just one Stalking Drone?
Yeah. Green is just a bunch of mopey dudes.
As it usually is.
Yeah, and Innis's Judgment. So.
Okay, that's good.
Well, this has no creatures. I mean, there are like Eldrazi Aggressors, if you want to go there. I don't really want to go there.
I do not want to play Eldrazi Aggressors. I've played with them once already, and I was embarrassed.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
At a Pro Tour.
that's a good time to try it out.
We got a drone, though.
A drone?
Yeah,
flare drone. So, Reflector Mage might not get used unless you end up wanting to splash some stuff. Because with the good white allies and these two, I assume like there is a white-black deck, right? Like we're going to want to play with these cards.
Yeah, and this card.
Yeah.
And then the white-black deck can pretty easily splash Reflector Mage.
Yeah, if you want to play those lands. We'll put those together, I guess. And then I guess this deck could take all the colorless stuff.
And this one, Spatial Contortion.
This deck doesn't look that bad, I guess. I don't think we can process anything. We have a Grave Birthing and a Witness the End.
We have a very strong sacrifice theme in these 2 cards.
In those 2 cards? Great.
2 cards, yep.
It's good to know. This deck is very medium minus, I think.
Yeah, that does not look remotely playable.
Yeah. You have a lot of sweet lands, though.
So we have... How much removal do we have in red?
There's these 3, a Shock if you want to count that, and then the K Return. And then there's like some kind of mopey allies. Embodiment of Fury is very good. I don't think we can even really turn this card on at all.
Which card?
The Processor Assault.
Wow, no. I don't really see much at all. That's sad.
Just expedite. So yeah, we're just kind of like looking at the cards, seeing what our best cards are, and trying to figure out like what decks we should build. Oh, blue looks good. I mean,
yeah, blue.
Those 6 cards are good.
We also have the nice blue devoid
colorless
cards.
package.
I'm wondering if red is adding enough to.
No, I don't think so. I think
really just the barrage tyrant.
I would rather look at blue-black.
Yeah, I agree.
This is about the depth of the blue deck. The rest of these cards are like Oath of Jace and some slip through spaces.
I mean, with all these Unknown Shores, Vestige, Cinder Barons, like we could do just like the same stuff, or it's like splash these if we wanted to, if we do blue-black. Where's the blue color stuff?
I mean, there's some of it in there. I have the 4 creatures over here. These are like the cards I pulled out as like.
We could go ham.
Oh, is that card even good if you have ham?
Because then you discard the ham. Of course it's good, yeah. I like the card. I don't know what that says about me as a person, but what do we got here? Someone should probably just start laying out white-black, right? Because that is.
Do we have a green-red deck? Is that actually a color combination we might need to look into?
Well, I haven't seen the green or this blue.
We have some landfall stuff.
Green is just a bunch of creatures. I guess like, you could end up playing a lot of colors in green, but I don't think we'd want to. Lone Larva's not very exciting, but.
Well, what would we even want to splash? I mean, obviously the Brilliant Spectrum, but past that...
The exciting cards in green are the Double Gack, the Embodiment, and the Nissa's Judgment.
And an Infuse with the elements is very good.
That is true. You could just like backdoor to that being really powerful. There's a green-white thing, even though I know that card's not great, but a little slow. Fertile Thicket's nice.
These cards are exciting at all.
Do we not get that? What's the red double X card?
Double X card?
Yeah, the red double X.
Fall of the Titan?
Yeah, if we had Fall of the Titan, then we would be able to kill all the Eldrazi, which would be nice.
Oh, okay.
Because for anyone at home that doesn't know this, which most of you, this card and that are the 2 flavors of how the Planeswalkers killed the Eldrazi. And that's why this Bonds of Mortality, which just looks completely unplayable and out of place, is part of the story.
So, for anyone who's actually playing in GPDC watching this, probably don't spend your deck building time talking about flavor, because you only have a finite amount of time.
But there's always the next Team GP.
That is true. That is true. You get all the flavor stuff out of the way. Next time, you can really hammer home and focus on just building your deck. So, the blue cards are like kind of tempo-y, and then you have these 2 tightening coils kind of randomly, and I don't know.
Do we have any good equipment?
Yeah, you have the 2 claws, man.
Well, we have 2 of these.
I mean, I guess the claws does make that into a playable card. You have 2 shoulders too.
Yep. I mean, so let's break the fourth wall for a minute and discuss our pool. I mean, at first glance, this does not look strong.
It doesn't look strong, but I mean, like we have a lot of powerful cards, which I think is going to kind of be the norm, and it's just like you have to figure out the best way to utilize what you have. You know, it's not just like, oh, well, if I had this, then this deck would be good or whatever. Like, you can't look at it that way. It's just like, this is what we have. Now what do we do? You know? I think Ross is laying out his green-red monster deck, which is, you know, right up his alley, I think.
Yeah, I'm just not excited with the lack of 2-drops that red provides. If we're going to be a Lagak deck, we need to pair green with a color that has more aggressive 2s, unless we want to play a bunch of Lone Larvas, which I do not.
Yeah, doesn't seem great.
I mean, white has these.
Yeah, Jotty Offshoot has Defender? What a giant beatdown.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
You mean the opposite of a giant beatdown.
Looks like our pool is just light on 2s to begin with.
I mean, that's like the big issue with this format, right? Like, we need 3 decks that want 2-drops, and like, I think that's just not going to happen in a lot of pools.
Okay. So
that Carrier Thrall in there.
Is it possible we turn the green deck into something a little bit bigger? And we just try to use Lagak to sort of synergize with the summoners and just as a generally good card?
I don't really think we're going to, like, look at the red in this deck. It is not really, like, going well with what the green cards want to do.
Right.
At all. So, like, I do not think red and green are going to want to be a combination.
Yeah.
I mean, the red is just so light, I'm not even sure where it goes, period. But, like, I could see some sort of green deck that just has, like, maybe the embodiment and some of that removal, and that's it. And you just cut, like, the free runners. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but then we're pretty creature light overall. This
Well,
is
you just
14
have to
begin with.
have to find another color to play with.
Yeah.
Is
mean,
our
like,
green
there-
worth playing?
There is just a lot of, kind of chaffy playable blue cards.
How many cards is that over there in the blue-black
A
deck?
million. 5, 10, 15,
Still doesn't look
20.
that
This is
great.
like 30. Yeah, it's not great. So certainly something can give. I wish there was like a good top end that this deck could build towards. I mean, it's just like these two. That's certainly not good, but it is a thing. The lantern in there. White black probably wants the mire. You have
No,
enough-
that card sucks.
I don't like that card, but when you have like, drawn his emissary and it turns on your whole deck or whatever, I think you kind of want it.
All right, so we have a decent amount of ally theme, but not much to go with the life gain theme over here.
No, I think you just kind of splash the life gain theme.
But this deck still, I mean, it doesn't have the worst removal. Like, this deck actually has 4 removal spells, which is about the max that I would want. The curve isn't the worst if we're playing, I mean, it's still only 3 2-drops.
Making sure we're not missing anything here. All right, so I feel like with the Soothsayers, you definitely want to build a deck around these 2 cards because this is probably like the best thing that we have going on in this pool, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really like the idea of just like, building one deck that is very good and 2 mediocre decks, but in this case, like since these don't really go in that many different places, I think we kind of have to do that.
I agree. I mean, we don't have to go too hard. I mean, I was like trying to see if we had enough allies to branch off into another deck, but I just don't think we do.
Well, start laying out white-black and see what you want, because it's like, it's possible that Acolytes in Captain's Clause is actually a plan, like maybe that should be a red-white deck or something, I don't know.
Yeah, like we have, like, we don't really
Or
need-
maybe this is green-white.
Yeah, this card is...
I was thinking about possibly being green-white. But
All right, Brad, lay out white-black, see what you want to do with that. Do you think the white-black deck wants Miasma? Like, you have a lot of X3s, but it does kill some of your stuff.
It doesn't kill much at all, actually.
Okay, well, maybe it goes there. If not, and blue-black ends up being a thing, like, there are a lot of X3s over here, too. So I could just build this deck, like, more defensively, I think.
Is Wall of Resurgence just too good not to play?
I think so.
And then
I mean, especially when you have, like, Soothsayers and stuff, I think it's pretty nice.
we can play these. I mean, we at least want one.
Ship them over there.
Is this a card that you'd want to play?
probably
I feel like-
not, to
yeah,
be
you're
honest.
just too...
That's too many 3s. I
Well,
think,
how many allies do you have?
that is a good question. These 2 are both out. This guy's an ally. So, yeah, probably don't have enough allies to actually support these unless I play stuff like that.
How many Death Touchers do we have?
We just have one
Assassin?
and a Malachor Familiar. All right, yeah. I mean, that is a decent plan.
Maybe you should just take the arrows and I'll keep the drone over here. I don't know, but
Well, I mean, I only have 1.5. Actually, this is less because I only have 2 ways. Where are our what are the 2-drops? What is it called again?
which 2?
The one that gains life, the busted card.
Onto War Clerics,
Yeah, how
the
do we not
playmat
have
that I'm going
any?
to get for this tournament?
How do we have none? I guess we have one.
Yeah,
in
the
our
playmat, right. You're just
Great.
like, tap my playmat, and my other ally, gain 2 life. A lot of medium blue cards.
Can we play like a blue-red sort of surge kind of thing? We got a lot of the cheap creatures. We don't have a ton of surge cards.
Our deck gets light. I looked at it. We just don't have.
So you end up having to play the Blinding Drones, I think, and then you only have like an Entangler and an Avenger as things that are actually a clock.
We have Embodiment out of red. We have a couple free runners. Yeah, you probably do have to play the Blinding Drones.
Yeah, I think it just messes you up too much. It's like not a good version of that deck, so I would rather just not even worry about that. Where's this K return going? Should that just go in this blue deck?
It looks strong in it.
Yes. So,
Wait, do we want like these really bad black cards? Man, we have to play all these wardens too.
well, like I said, we can just build this to be like more defensively, and then I mean, it's possible that this should just not be black. Because it's like once I cut like the mindlessly aggressive stuff, there's not a lot of black left. So it is possible that I'm just playing blue-red.
Yeah, you could easily be blue-red. Just get some of the good red removal spells. And this embodiment. And the Barrage Tyrant.
Yeah, so like now this deck has a
Don't
bunch
think
of
this
rares.
deck wants to play outnumber.
I don't think so either. If you can splash in your green deck, that'd be much
Yeah.
better.
Does this deck actually want to play this with 2 Soothsayers, not many life gain things? We have
It's possible.
like we're light on tricks, we're light on stuff like that. I could just see it playing it.
Well, okay, so Devour in Flames is not that good in this deck because of my top end. And Embodiment is just another 4, so. I lost all my middling stuff.
At that point, the Endless one can probably just
Oh,
go
sure,
here.
sure, yeah.
All right, I want to just not have this on camera anymore because it's embarrassing me.
It really is. This is just not a deck. The green cards are really awkward. It's going to be tough to figure out what to do with them.
Maybe we're supposed to build green-red Eldrazi.
Red Eldrazi.
Like playing all the cards that get us to all of our late game cards and playing the Arcade Return in this deck because it doesn't even look that bad.
So you're trying to be a defensive green deck, probably some larvating, Stalking Droning, probably doing this. And we're probably not doing these things. Might be Netcaster.
Oh, we're definitely playing Infuse. Because we're going to be playing some Eldrazi lands or some searching. Like, I think we're going to want to play...
Yeah, there's all these lands, and they don't have to go in one deck, you know?
Yeah, we've...
Dude, it's possible, honestly, that you play this and the Stalking Drone. Or Slaughter Drone,
Oh,
sorry.
I should probably be playing this in this deck.
Yes, then,
This deck could play a Pulse. I don't know if it could play an unnatural
what do you want?
aggression.
Crumbling Vestige, Holdout Settlement?
Does this deck actually have enough things that trigger life gain to want this? I mean, we only have really 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I mean,
besides these wanting extra life
Right.
gain.
So that with Steward is pretty nice, but if you're activating this, you're probably using your mana on other stuff. So it's not like it's that great of a combo.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that if these black cards aren't necessarily going anywhere, like that and the Slaughter Drone with the arrows is certainly a place you could go.
I need to look at some of these other black cards though, because one thing that this deck would like.
You want some endurances?
I do feel a little light on that kind of effect since I'm like tapping out with all these creatures and I have these X3s that.
Yeah.
What if,
I'm gonna
what
want
if we're black-green Eldrazi? Because then we get the extra 2-drops we need for the green deck, and we can Lagak in it.
I don't think Sky Sour is that good. Like, certainly not with those green cards.
Well, I mean, most of your color support is coming from the black, but you could also even play Captain's Claws in that deck as another colorless card
Yeah, that's true.
and another go wide effect. But you could end up being something. Captain's Claws also makes Bone Splinters possible.
Yeah.
I mean, they always
play-
just jump like that little stupid token.
Probably not playing Netcaster in that deck.
This is kind of how it goes. You have one deck that's just like, all right, you know, like
We're gonna definitely be doing this, and then
the other ones are just like, oh, gross.
Yeah, you just have to.
Oh, what about like blue-green colorless? I'm down with blue-green colorless.
what is the advantage of being green-black?
It lets us play the Lagax effectively in the shell that they want to be in, and Captain's Claws. It blends our need to have this aggressive support deck while using the good colorless cards that we have, especially Essence Depletion.
Plus, we have a Hissing Quagmire. So.
Oh, it all makes sense now.
Yeah. So we'll put those over there. Dude, I think you should be playing Pulse Marasa too. You want any of this stuff back?
I mean, maybe. Like, do I want to be splashing in this deck with like, is the Reflector Mage worth splashing? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Since I'm
I
this gum up the board deck anyway.
Yeah,
like,
I would
they're
rather
gonna have
just
time.
not have lands ETB tapped and like keep you off your 5-drops, you know? Alright, I think blue-green should be something we look at, and then I guess like black-red is the last deck, which like looked pretty bad.
I mean, green also is a fan of cards like Tightening Coils.
Yeah. No, I think like Scion Summoner into Pathfinder is like a pretty reasonable game plan, you know? You just have like all the tempo elements of this deck, and
I like the way this deck looks.
I definitely don't.
I'm also on that, and also
I think that is a bad draft deck. I honestly think like Scion Summoner into Pathfinder is a way to win.
I agree.
And then we'll just kind of figure out what to do with the rest.
And because you're green, we can be utilizing the Eldrazi mana more, like having a waste that we can search up in multiple ways for our Blinding Drones and Endless Ones, and that deck gets better mana to.
Yeah, I mean you have some of the converged stuff with like the Unknown Shores and Holdout Settlements.
Okay, so you need probably these cards.
Take those.
Here is the rest of the green if you want to peruse through that. Now,
see, this looks like a fairly powerful deck.
That does look pretty good. I do not think we're going to be playing the 2-1.
Which 2-1? Entangler?
Yeah.
Yeah. Might have 2 green decks. There's just a lot of cards.
Yeah, green's super deep.
I mean, it's deep, but all the cards are medium. A lot of B pluses and A minuses.
this deck looks awful.
Did you get the endurances back? Yeah. So those are good. Expedite's probably good too with the free runners.
Are we good at bone splintering anything? Really just the carrier thrall and
2
I guess the
Captain's
captain's
Claws.
claws. That's probably enough.
I think the deck kind of wants it.
5, 9, 10, 11, 13.
I mean, you could use it with embodiment too to like sack your land. It's pretty reasonable.
This is 27 cards, but they're not at all exciting.
Yeah, nothing about this is exciting me at all.
Does this K return get to go anywhere? Maybe in this deck?
Yeah, I think that deck wants to play the K return. But we probably then have to play the Eldrazi thing.
What, the Devastator?
Yeah.
I don't think so. There's Endless One.
Sure.
I think that's good enough. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. This is like 27 cards also. So, there you go.
Well, in this deck, I don't know if I like all of these. So we just we took the
Rawr.
So what is this deck's game plan going to be? It's going to be like gum up the board.
Come up the board, ramp into big stuff, just like tempo them out at that point.
Yeah, because we do have a lot of good ways to do that.
Yeah.
On the top end. We probably need, what do we have? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We could probably cut a creature and then spells. Like, I don't know if we want all these wardens.
I think Warden is good. I wasn't sure about the Gravity Negators. It's possible, like, I need some flyers or, like, you know, Netcaster Spiders or whatever. Something along those lines to make sure I just don't get run over. But I could see just, like, cutting a Negator. It's possible that, like, Oran Reef Invoker is not really great here either.
I agree with that. Once the board's all gummed up, like, it's the tapping out for an 8/8 isn't really going to do much, or 7/7.
Yeah, I think this deck just has plenty of ways to use its mana anyway. Like, I think 4/2 drops is like a pretty reasonable place to be, especially with 2 coils.
Yeah. And to sweep away.
Yeah, this also, this dies to like return too, whereas most of my things don't, like Landfall, Gnarlid, and Stalking Drone. Pretty tight. Not sure if I want to play this Devastator or not, but
Yeah, we don't actually have to play the Devastator.
don't actually have to play the K return either, but
I don't even know if the deck wants the K return. Like, at all.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't kill most of the stuff in the deck. I'm not sure if that's good enough, though. Pulse of Marauders is pretty good. A lot of considerations.
Yeah, there's a lot of options for the deck. I'm wondering if we could somehow even split green and still just be green-black over here. Because the red cards are just not good. There's a couple good removal spells.
The green-black deck didn't look very good. I think like the red stuff is a little bit more powerful. And then it would kind of stink to have that stuff just go to waste. I wonder if the endurance is good over here. Probably not great. This thing.
This is 29 cards and still doesn't really look like a deck.
Well, cut the Chasm Guide. It's a pretty easy one. The Sky Scours are so bad.
Yeah, this card's not very good. It's not the worst. We have, what, 10-ish color spells? 3,
Yeah,
4,
so
5,
it's like
6, 7,
mostly
8, 9.
Stormcrow. 2 turns out of the game, maybe it's something else. Fertile Thicket.
Yeah, it takes a lot of dedication for Sky Scour.
Yup. Alright.
Clock.
Oh.
Okay, so we're halfway done. oh man, this is so bad.
I mean, you could just cut bad 4s for bad 3s, and then the Sky Scours are a little bit better. The Flare Drone, too. I mean, you might be able to build a deck with this in mind. You play, like, all the Endurances.
Yeah, can you go as hard as possible with this strategy and see what it looks like?
Yeah.
Just go as hard as possible.
Grey Birthing's in there. Got a little bone saw action if you're really digging deep.
This no matter what.
Pathway Arrows should stay over here probably, I think.
It should definitely at least be in this deck 75.
Yeah. Well, whatever that means, yeah. I wonder if I want... Too many options over here. So one thing I've learned by doing a bunch of team seals is when, like, there are 2 decks that are, like, scrambling for playables, and then you have one deck that just has, like, 40 playables, you probably did something wrong, but in this case, I'm not sure. Because it's just like this, like, these are the colors that we're not splitting. Like, red is pretty light in general. We're splitting black, and then this is all the blue and green cards, so it's not that wild, but...
Do you think that deck needs a removal spell? I don't know if my deck is going to need all of them. It might, though, because of the fact that I'm just going to gum up the boards, therefore I'm going to need to kill things.
I mean, he still has Salvo, Devouring Flames, Outnumber, Bone
Oh,
Splitters.
yeah, you still have a
Yeah, I have
lot.
plenty.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's whether or not you actually want something to kill a big creature, right? Because, like, Brad has Isolation Zone and Ruinous Path. You might want the
I
Ruinous
have
Path.
Bone Splinters and Devour.
Yeah, I mean, Devour doesn't
creatures.
hit everything, but...
Hits most everything.
It does. It is close. Yeah, this looks way better than, like, Green-Black or Chasm Guide 3-2
I feel like this deck
Menace.
could potentially win a game.
I am just not a fan of the creature count right now. It's over. Like, we have a lot of things that depend on having a big board between Outnumber, Swarm Surge, Captain's Claws.
The Endurances, too.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to
Would you
do
like
that
a Warden of
consistently.
Geometries? Perhaps a Kozilek's Pathfinder.
Let's get
One Pathfinder might actually be good, and then you can just play the Devastator.
Yeah, you might want to play the Face Tongue, too. I like Face Tongue.
this card could also maybe make the cut. Just getting you more in the air. We might need you in the air more. Like, I don't know if I need it that badly. Especially, like, I have removal,
I
I
mean,
have some 1/3s.
if he takes the Familiar, that's really nice with the Endurances. And then he can have the Pathway Arrows, too, and he has 2 Death Touchers.
Yeah, you can have this on the board if you need it.
I mean, if he's playing, like, Captain's Claws, he could probably just play the Arrows Bait deck, too.
I don't know if I want 3 equipment in this
No,
deck.
I mean, I wouldn't want that, but I'm saying, like, if you're willing to play
Get
Captain's
that
Clause...
Pathfinder out. I want that over there.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think one Pathfinder here and then him pulling the Devastator over there?
Oh, sure. I mean, I don't know. I think his deck needs to curve out well.
I
think yours
have
does too.
plenty of top-end stuff. Like, he can definitely take a Pathfinder. That is fine with me.
Do you have anything...
So, like, Arrows plus Death Toucher is way more likely to win you a game than Captain's Clause on anything.
I agree
Yeah,
with that.
I agree as well.
I don't like Captain's Clause.
And if you're already Creature Light, then whatever. Yeah, just play the Arrows.
But that makes the Bone Splinters worse.
Yeah. You could probably cut Bone Splinters then.
Then I'm light on ways to kill bigger creatures.
Yeah, take a Ruinous Pass from Brad.
I see where this is going. Let's put some white in your deck, Jerry.
Brad, your deck's busted already.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so.
4, 6, 10, 11, 16.
Still need to add cards to it.
I still have 27 cards. This is 16 creatures, although Grave Birthing is...
That's a creature.
Yeah.
I mean, for purposes of, like, Swarm Surge and stuff, I think it counts.
Yeah. I'm inclined to...
Outnumber, too, I guess. Yeah, so, like, I would kind of look at cutting some non-colorless cards. Like, Outnumber is kind of up there.
Yeah.
And then...
I don't think we can cut any of these 3, though. And I want to cut spells.
Right. I mean, Hemorrhage is, like, the worst spell, I think.
Yeah, Hemorrhage, probably followed by either Molten Nursery or Endurance.
So we do have to chop these colorless lands, which I do think is something that we'll have to figure out. Oh, do you want the Face Tongue? Face Tongue's kind of tight.
It's okay.
So, what does Mirror Pool do? Copy of any creature, so this deck probably wants Mirror Pool.
And
I think your deck...
Your deck seems better at using these. You'll probably have more excess mana.
Certainly better at these than this.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many like colorless sources I need. I guess I have Blinding Drones.
All I have...
But, like, I might even play a Waste if I play the Natural Connection.
I have Drone, Pathfinder, and Contortion.
You can also play the 1/3 for 2 if you want. Loam.
Oh, sure, the Larva.
Yeah, you can play Larva.
Ah! Knocked all my cards over. All right, so what do you have that needs colorless? Slaughter Drone,
Drone,
Shrieker,
Pathfinder,
Depleter
Contortion.
too.
Oh, and Depleter. Missed that one. And Shrieker. Okay, so I actually have a lot. I should probably be somewhere in the 4... Okay, if we're adding this many, I think we have to cut Face Tongue.
Yeah, that's fine. I think this should leave me with enough colorless. This deck could play Reflector Mage too, since I'm already playing like Infuse.
Yeah.
Might be like spreading myself a little too thin. I don't know. I don't know if you want the Baron or not.
Yeah, definitely want the Baron. I'm not sure if I want the Carrier Thrall. I want the 2-drop, but it's just so bad, especially since we've cut the...
We'll cut the Splinters. I mean, it's kind of nice that it might trade with something, and then it gives you an extra creature for Swarm Surge.
Yeah. This is 12, 15, 17, 21, 25, 26. Still need a few cuts. I'm wondering if it needs the Malakir Familiar. It is like good in the deck. But,
I think you need it for the arrows. I think that's one of the plans.
We're not playing the Outnumber?
No,
I don't think
that has
so.
been...
Really?
Well, he already has too many cards. And I thought Outnumber was the worst spell.
Grave Birthing also seems pretty bad. Why?
Cantrip makes a creature for your Swarm Surge and your Molten Nursery. And like Sky Scourer too.
Yeah. Everything about this deck is sort of critical mass. Being able, even though what it does is pretty minimal, the fact that you cantrip off of it,
well, we still have to
gonna
cut
keep the
cards
gas
though.
flowing. I would be more inclined to cut like one of these aggressors.
Oh yeah, get an aggressor out.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And how many more do we have to cut?
A lot.
2. Which is a lot.
I found a cut.
I guess I can kill big creatures with pathway arrows.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so we're back in it. I mean, also you can just block with familiar in endurance. So
Yeah.
that's actually a reasonable plan too.
And I need something, and I feel like my deck is going to just be clunky, and I need effects like this.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like if I'm going to be drawing cards, I got to be drawing real cards.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so this is 24.
I mean, you have a lot of nonsense in your board.
Yeah, but that's exactly what it is it's nonsense.
I don't mind Searing Light.
I mind it.
Do we have any desire to splash the Reflector Mage in this deck?
I thought about it, but no. Because I'm just going to be a clunky, like, let's play a million turn game anyway deck. Like, I'm not really getting the value out of the 2/3.
Yeah, I don't think you are either.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to go in this deck, but...
And this is 22,
I
and the
realize
curve's
we
pretty
had that
high.
deck.
Do I actually just play 18 lands plus a Mire?
Yeah,
Because I need to hit all my...
agreed. And you have 2 Awaken cards.
Yeah. And don't forget this Dazzling Reflection.
Well, I don't know what that has to do with anything, but...
I'm just making sure that everyone's aware that I'm playing Dazzling Reflection.
Gotcha.
It's important.
What about Tazri? Do you want to backdoor into the Tazri? You want some of these non-basics?
What's Tazri? Oh, yes. Yes, let's give me all the non-basics.
All right, here you go.
All right, we're good to go.
Ross, you want any of those Looming Spires?
I was just thinking about that. And honestly, I don't think I do. I already have a red source that comes into play tapped. Or enters
You
the
have
battlefield
2 come to play tap lands, too.
And given that how light on red sources this deck is likely to be, I only have 7 red cards. Having a reasonable number of them enter untapped is actually important, so that when you keep a hand that doesn't have a red source, you actually get to play a red spell immediately upon drawing it. The deck is very black heavy. I'm wondering if it wants another colorless source, because a depleter is so heavy, but the Warden might cover that part of it.
Yeah, that's why I shipped the Warden over.
Do we
there.
actually not want to play this in his deck?
I don't think I would main deck it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that can certainly go in his sideboard.
Yeah.
His side Brad.
Already got my side Brad.
Yeah. I don't know, man. How good is this with Captain's Claws? Like, would you play Captain's Claws then?
Maybe.
Yeah, why don't we get the Stone
What
Forges
if
and all
you
the
had
equipment in
2?
his deck?
What about 3?
Well, that one's mine. I have to go sell that one. I have to buy lunch.
Your deck should probably have this. There's no way I'm ever going to board that in.
Yep.
All right, so this is 25.
Same with this. I might board in these go long cards. And I just get all the white cards.
Actually,
Oh, I probably need a card like that.
I'm wondering. I want like one of these two, and I'm just wondering which one you want.
You could
the
probably take
colorless
both.
one.
I will not use them.
The colorless one is kind of nice for me, but I think this one, the effect is better for me.
And I also think the effect of this is better
Yeah,
for me.
and then this is likely to get back a colorless card anyway.
Do you really want the Dutiful Return? I don't know. I guess.
I don't think you would.
Are you going to bring in both? You don't think I'll ever want to bring in some sort of 2-for-1?
It's not even like a 2-for-1 because the cards you're getting back are so bad. It's like a 0.75 for 1.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I mean, like, what sort of matchup are you envisioning where you might want to bring that in?
I'm imagining almost a mirror match because our creatures are so mopey that they.
I do not think you'll
be
be playing a mirror match. And if you play
I mean,
mirror
I don't
match,
mean an
their deck
exact
will
mirror,
be
but-
infinitely better.
Yeah, then you probably can't grind them.
No.
True.
I don't think you're going to be able to grind many people out because your power level is not that high. You're going to want to get under everyone.
Still need to cut a card, by the way.
So you need to cut one card?
Yep. Definitely playing 17 instead.
1741. Can't really afford to get flooded.
I mean, it's got to be one of these.
You might play 16 land in your deck.
That is aggressive.
I'm just not a fan of the Pathfinder in the deck. I just want both to be in your deck.
Yeah, whatever. I'm down.
I'm just not a fan of it. I just don't want to play. I don't want to play a ton of 2s and a 6. Like I think by the time
I mean,
that
this adds like another angle to his deck, but he already has like Barrage Tyrant to kind of do that. Although Barrage Tyrant is just like take 2. Take
3. Throw my lands at them.
Yeah, that is true. Can't do that if you're only playing 16 land.
Man, I've never thought about it. The spatial contortion silent skimmer combo is so great.
Oh yeah.
Spatial contortion goes like Pathfinder. Attack you for 8, stack up a barrage tyrant. You're dead.
And then it just means that everything you did leading up to that point was kind of meaningless.
It's just like the red-black zombie deck from 3 years ago.
If you don't want to take that out, then take the aggressor out. It is just.
Should I play any
It's
of these?
laughably embarrassing.
Should I play any of the aggressors or the Legax in this deck? Instead of like the judgment? Maybe it doesn't
I want to go back to this. We're going to tell everyone at home to play Eldrazi Aggressor.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying that, like, you know, your deck is kind of set in stone. Yours is like the only synergy deck, really. Like, good synergy deck. This is just like blue-green tempo cards, and this is the leftovers. And I don't think, like, we looked at a bunch of different color combinations, and none of them looked very good. This at least looks like a cohesive deck that could maybe win games.
Yeah, but I'm saying that we need to cut, and if we're going to cut one of these other cards over an Eldrazi Aggressor, I'm embarrassed.
It's not about being embarrassed, man. Like, cards are just not unplayable, you know? Like, they have ranges, they have context. Like, Pathway Arrows is not a good card, but when your deck is bad and you have 2 creatures with Death Touch, suddenly the card is probably your best card.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, like, that situation could ever happen for Eldrazi Aggressor ever, you know? At no point is that card going to be your best card or whatever, but it, like, fills a role, you know?
Gets the job done.
Of not attacking or blocking.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it gets any sort of job done, but it fits the theme in the
threatens the
deck.
double block.
Now I just want to play Eldrazi Aggressor.
Yeah, just show them.
It threatens the double block. Ooh, the double block blowouts with endurances. That might actually make the card playable. We just have to shove two guys into something. They're like, well, I'm going to blow them out. And you're
It's
just
all
like,
context,
nope.
baby. All right. I think I'm going to cut Grip.
I'm okay with that. That card's always just been fine.
I love Grip. I love it probably more than life itself, but I have 3 colorless sources currently, although I can connection for a waste, and I have a Warden. I'm not sure if this Devastator should be in here. It's possible I should just sideboard the package, right?
Yeah.
And then that opens up a slot for like a Plains or whatever for this Reflector Mage. I could also play this stupid thing, but it's like, this card is just not good, right? It's like not worth splashing.
I mean, if we're already splashing into it, I don't think it's terrible, but I do know what you mean.
Were you playing 18 lands?
We're already
in this deck?
so mana hungry in this deck already.
Yeah,
so.
I'm likely going to play 18 lands.
Yeah.
It's like Embodiment, Guardian, I have like these Awaken things.
This is 22.
This is 22, but I have a lot of stuff that I wouldn't mind playing also. The K return should not go in your all 2 toughness deck, right?
If you're
Probably not.
splashing,
Okay.
do you want a Wall of Resurgence? I don't really know if I need it that badly.
Oh, that might be tight in this
I
deck,
don't know if you actually want it, because yeah, you have all this
Hell
land
yeah.
stuff.
All right, let's do that.
Are you down to a reasonable number of cards? Or do you
I
still
need
have
to add
17
one.
million
I mean,
playables?
I can mono vigilance. No, I've been keeping it around 22. I can triple vig.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
you
want
can
that.
always add like shoulder to shoulder too.
Play one shoulder to shoulder in
mean,
this
I
deck. This deck does not look like a shoulder to shoulder deck.
It doesn't, but it's
I'd
good
rather
through 1
Mighty
3s and
Leap.
2 3s. Oh yuck!
What?
Mighty Leap is gross.
Or Searing Light.
I like Searing Light. You don't have to do much to sell me on a Searing Light.
Then this is 18 lands.
Okay. All right. I think we're getting somewhere, boys. I think we are making it happen. Does this deck want like an Oath of Jace or Brilliant Spectrum to filter since I have like
No.
30 mana sources? Oath of Jace is not bad.
That's true, but I also think like you're going to have to like. I just don't feel like there's a ton of time in these games.
I agree. But I don't mind having one of those things. I mean, like, I can certainly bring them in out of the board or whatever, but even in matchups that are like super tempo oriented, I don't mind having like one card where I just like take the turn off to make sure I can do stuff, you know?
I'd rather just play a Grip main. I think it's just going to be a better card than an Oath of Jace.
Sure. I mean, they like do very different things, but I get it.
Well, I mean,
This deck is gas. I like this deck.
it does look pretty good.
Just like lock down their little stuff. You get to like tap their stuff in the mid game. Like play some giant things.
It has very good answers to the big threats.
Yeah. Yeah, this deck is great. Will you change anything? Do you want any of this stuff?
I mean, I just want it all on your board.
Yeah, of course.
Man, your sideboard is so gigantic.
It's enormous. There's not a lot of playable stuff.
We are so good at this format. We just gave Gerry both the deep colors that we just like fought over the other three.
You take the obvious great deck. I scrap around with some really bad creatures.
These aren't even necessarily the decks we're playing, but
Well, we.
No,
only
I'm
we
going to
have-
play this one.
Oh, sure, I know what you mean.
I have to bring some pride back to the Eldrazi Aggressor.
sure.
This is always how it happens, though. Like in Team Sealed, people gravitate towards like the strategies they look at. Like,
Yeah.
I also would want you to play that deck.
Why? Because it's Delver.
Yeah, and it's a lot of tempo, a lot of limited math. I think I'm okay at drawing cards and trying to kill things and staying alive.
Sure.
I can stay alive for a very long time in a game of limited magic.
Yeah.
Finding a window to win might need like 7 to 10 cards.
How
And I'm
how
good
do
at getting
you
scrappy with crappy creatures.
how do you actually win in this deck?
What? It's very obvious.
I mean, like you're gonna draw a bunch of stuff. I guess like you can just chain mage them out or whatever.
Cut some flyers, make some lands big.
I draw cards and then trade. Just trade.
I'm not sure you want to trade.
Well, I'm eventually going to have to do something.
Yeah. You don't just like have a big thing though.
Maybe just this combo eventually wins.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. Just find your emissary and protect it.
I mean, I
too
do
with
have
the
big
mire.
creatures.
You do.
Like, these things can attack, and I do have decent removal.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I have to play a plains because I have a natural connection.
I still need to cut a card.
I'm honestly kind of on board with 16 land.
With these cards in my deck.
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
no way
this is not a 5 mana card. That's going to be like a 3 mana play and equip, and then next turn start shooting stuff probably. It's just like if you draw like, 5 land and 6 spells or whatever, I'm not sure you can win.
But we have, like, activated abilities, and, like, I want 17
right,
lands.
all
in
right.
this deck.
Spell.
Oh, you do have an X spell.
And all these activated abilities, like, just get the Eldrazi Aggressor out of the deck.
Sky Scourer into Eldrazi Aggressor. Game.
They're already dead. They're like
No,
7.
they're at 16, and then they play something.
Well,
And then you kill it.
They play a spider, and the game is over.
well, I am pretty sure I don't want the Pathfinder. Otherwise, I would say. Cut
yeah,
that,
I don't think you want it. Your deck has a lot of power. And you have to consider, like, these 6 drops, too.
Oh, I know. They're over here.
Yeah. 10 minutes. Oh, we have to also register, so...
Yeah.
let's-
So we're winding down. I have to figure out my mana base, and Ross has to figure out what card to cut. But other than that, I think that's about it. I think we did okay. Brad, he's not actually on your team. That we're not actually playing the Grand Prix with these decks. These people playing these decks.
I had impulse control. I almost ripped up the card, but I realized that it is not.
There's also a second copy on our pool that I can just put in.
Well, right, but there are also people building with this exact pool.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
so
We can't do that yet.
yeah.
I really want to rip them up, though.
Yeah.
I've done that at a limited tournament before.
In
TGP.
the actual tournament, I support that. That is
Just
fine.
ripping up a card.
That is fine.
Like, I would rather just play this off combo. It's still just, it's a body.
I'm not going to have enough red sources to play that card.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Could just cut Pathway Errors and Malakir Familiar, play another
No.
aggressive card.
Dude, I think that's the only way you win. Brad, why are you so hellbent on like 2C, 2-3 haste? Like, what is wrong with that card?
Well, we have to cut something. And all the other cards are decent. I mean, it could be Swarm Surge. I don't feel like we're going to build
Could
a
be
lot
an
of boards for
Endurance, could
that.
be the
No, I'm not
Nursery.
cutting one of these.
Could be this Carrier Thrall.
Could be Carrier
Just
Throw.
get lucky and always have 2-drop in my hand.
Could also just be Pathfinder. You cut Pathfinder, I stop wanting 17 land though. I don't know. I like now it's getting down to like the nitty gritty, just like very small scale stuff.
All right, Captain,
Well-
cut the card.
16 creatures. I think we kind of need 16 creatures.
My usual mode in an actual tournament setting would just be whoever's playing that deck. You decide on the last cut.
No,
Easier than it
it's
to
always
play it.
Captain.
Well, see, the issue is, say I cut this or you cut this or whatever, then he's going to play the games and secretly side it in every time.
I'm under. You make a captain for a reason, and they.
Word. Oh, it's so weird because I kind of want to cut a spell. I don't really want to cut one of the 16 creatures.
Do you think this is going to come up a lot? I feel like it's just going to get stuck in our hand with 2 guys in play, and we're not going to be able to like really attack.
No, I don't think so. I think the Swarm Surge, like, yes, there are going to be situations where it's bad, but a lot of this deck's situations are going to be bad.
Yeah.
And Swarm Surge is one of the cards that's like, oh, this is actually powerful. Like, this can get you out of a situation, even though, like, your opponent's card quality is better. So, I could see cutting the Nursery. I think, like, that's entirely possible. Like, maybe it's not good in a lot of your...
It could be a board
in a lot of your matchups, right. But then that makes me think that, like, maybe we should redesign, like, how this deck is built. But I guess, like, you can't really because you have the Sky Scourers anyway. So I would just move the Nursery to the board and call it a day. How do you feel about that?
In.
Booked. All right.
I wanted to cut a spell too.
Let's do it.
I have a mana base to build, and my deck is built.
Yep, same.
Do I want another colorless source in this deck?
You have 3 with a Warden?
It's more than 3. It's Contortion, Shrieker, Depleter.
No, 3
Oh,
sources.
yeah, 3 sources. And a Warden for Contortion, Depleter, Shrieker, Drone, Pathfinder.
And we have 1 Scion that we can make.
2. Grave Birthing.
Oh, we have 2 Scions.
Okay, so there's another Wastes. Otherwise, there's like an Unknown Shores in this deck.
You definitely. I think you want the Unknown Shores. I think he.
Yeah, I think I would just play a Waste if I wanted.
Okay, you play this Waste. I like this one better.
Sure. I like this one better.
Good. We're all in agreement.
Yeah, and I think we can afford to play another color source because our red commitment is so low.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, we got to get our sideboards. Now
Yep.
we're going to be late, so everyone get your sideboards ready. We have to register our decks.
I'm ready.
Do we have everything here? And are we sure your Splash of Kozilek's Return is better than him having it? Yes.
Yeah. Do you ever
Yeah,
want a Captain's Clause?
I might Captain's Clause.
Yeah, we should probably split
it's
them.
probably.
Well, I don't think
you
you
want 2
split
of
them,
them?
right? You just put them all in one deck.
Yeah, I could see this deck.
Oh, so like, okay, check this out, Ross. If you're playing against a deck where you might want something like Dutiful Return, like maybe they're a control deck, do you actually think you want the Captain's Clause instead?
I was just thinking about that.
So
and I
just-
would say yes.
Yeah, so you play the clause.
Yeah, because I don't
Yeah.
think I'll board them in.
Okay.
All right, well, I have just the leftovers of white.
Oh, this is 23 somehow. Maybe because I added the Wall of Resurgence.
Are we sure we need this card, actually?
Sweet.
It is sweet.
I mean, it's a different angle.
Don't know what we... This card stands out to me, but I think we still have to play it.
Yeah, card might stink, actually. I'm actually down to cut it.
Yeah, I would just cut it. I just don't think it's going to do much.
It's gonna be 5 mana basically every time. So I kind of want 4, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, I only have 14 creatures. I think that's fine.
Are you counting these?
No, I'm not. But
I would count them because they are a part of... We need them part of our big base.
word.
Or we don't have enough.
I don't know. I cut this. I feel like I'm down on big stuff. I kind of want a card drawer.
Okay, no, just put it back in. I think the creature's fine.
Well, then I need another card. Does Negator actually do anything besides block?
Does this do much? We have so many 3s already. 2s.
It just gets my color
Okay,
source.
sure.
Which I think is important because I have like repeatable things that I need
Yeah.
to use.
Also, it's a Guardian of Tazim.
Yeah, that is true. I have these 2 things, which are pretty sweet. So like 18 land plus that. Maybe I'll just play 17 land. I think that's fine.
I don't mind it.
Because I have 2 summoners. I have a druid.
You have this.
Okay, 17.
You're like tempoing the game. All right, that's it.
All right, so that was a lot of fun, and I think mission accomplished, Brad. We managed to give the worst deck to Ross. So We did it.
Got there.
Kind of just want to ditch my team and like play with you guys and just see what happens, you know? Like, because now we did this, and now I'm kind of invested to see what actually does happen.
Ross, like 9-0s, we brick off. We don't make day 2. We blame Ross the entire night.
Yeah, of course. Ross, you took all our good cards.
Yeah. Of course you did well. You took all the good cards. But
just see him Visaring everything, like Pathway Arrows on his Malik, you're familiar?
yeah.
Curve out perfectly, just kill my opponents on turn 5.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm just done. You were both in the middle of this like long game 1. It's like, what are you guys doing? How have you not won already?
Like, you have 4 creatures, they have 4 creatures, they're at 2, you peel Eldrazi Aggressor to just get in with everyone.
So what I've learned so far is I do feel like our pools were a little bit weak on the enablers for all of our payoff cards.
Yeah, I think so too.
And that might be a theme of this set. But it does seem also very complex. It seems very difficult to figure out how to build these decks. And that's one of the struggles. But it's also one of the fun elements of this. Like, we just took 2 sealed pools, jammed them together, built 3 decks out of them, and it was extremely challenging.
Yeah, of course. I just want to go home and like open my boxes now. You know, like I have some packs left over from like drafting for the PT and stuff, and it's like now I just want to build team seal decks.
I'm just excited to see what the other team does with them.
Yeah,
I'm assuming they build a black-white deck the same way we did, because that was pretty obvious, but I would be floored if they built these same 2 decks.
Yeah, I agree. These seem like weird places to end up, but I like them.
Yes.
Truth be told, if they don't play, because Tom's on that team, if they don't play a white-red crater, like, what is it, Crater's Claws?
No, Captain's Claws.
Captain's
and
Claws.
The
with
dub 1-2.
acolyte. Oh, that is 100% one of their decks.
How many drafts did we do? Like 3 before the PT, and Tom had like 2 of those in all of his decks. And
Yeah.
just he was like bone sawing people. Just
There's
like
no
Yep.
bone saws in any draft. You could never get one.
yeah.
But yeah, I would be shocked if they don't have a red-white deck.
So do you think the issue with the enablers is only 4 packs of battle? That kind of seems like the issue to me.
Well, for example, we got 8 packs of Oath, and we got no Battle Priests.
Well, that is true. I was just thinking that like battle was the synergy format. Oath is just kind of like the beatdowny format with not a lot of synergy, not a lot of payoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of need your battle packs to be like pretty good in order for you to do like very specific things.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just kind of like looking for some synergies, but mostly just like building a good deck like this blue-green deck. You know, it's just like all a bunch of magic cards.
Or like this red-black deck. Perfect.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was challenging. It is weird because we do have a lot of like cards that I've seen always make the cut in draft decks, just in our sideboards.
Yeah.
Like the Lagax and
Yep.
and Netcaster Spiders, things like that. But I do feel like our decks were built in the right ways and had those taken care of. So I don't know. Like, I'm definitely very ignorant to this format's team sealed. I'm looking forward to Grand Prix DC to see how my teammates who know more about limited do it. I mean, I'm just gonna watch.
Sure.
I'm not gonna actually interact with them
No?
at all. No. Oh no, they're just doing it. I'll just organize what pile of lands, sir? Okay, I'll get
Okay,
you all the
okay.
same art and things like that. But I do think that we did a good job with this pool, which felt a little lackluster compared to what I would assume the average is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like I said before, it feels weird where you're like not super happy with your decks, and then you like have a sideboard for one deck that does have a lot of playables in it. It does kind of feel like you made a mistake, but like I don't think we could have done anything with these cards. Like they're playable cards, but they're not great, and you can't build a deck out of these. You know?
Yeah,
So-
the only card, and I look at this big pile of cards, and the only cards that I'm upset that we didn't find a deck for are the Lagax.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
if you are only upset at 2 cards in your entire sideboard in Team Sealed, I think that's a good place to be.
Yeah. I mean, we looked at green-white. We had 2 shoulder-to-shoulders. There's like a Raptor in here too, I think, an Expedition Raptor, right?
But there's no way we could split white because white itself wasn't deep enough on 2 drops to be able to support white, black, and white, green.
Yeah, no War Clerics.
Yeah.
We probably should have looked at a white-green deck.
We did. That was like the second deck we looked
Oh,
at.
you already looked at the white-green? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
You laughed at him.
Oh, that was that deck?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. All right, well.
We did our job. That's all I know.
Yeah, that's a wrap. And we'll see on Wednesday what Tom, Todd, and Michael Majors are able to come up with.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. And then we will be back on Friday where all 6 of us sit around this table and laugh at each other for how terrible they built their decks. Hopefully, we're on the giving end.
Oh,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Please. Nothing would make me happier, I think.
I don't want to just be in silence looking at their decks and being like, yep, mm-hmm.
All right,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
this
just,
checks
I'm
out.
just not going to go to the GP, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm pretty bad at this.
But yeah, join us on Wednesday when the other 3 build this exact same seal pool. And this was a good one because it's so weird. Like, it's going to be unique what they actually choose to do with the pool. And then Friday is actually the start of GPDC.
Yeah, that's exciting. I'm going up on Thursday. I have a team sealed lined up.
Practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do the same. But my team is too arrogant. They just they think they're great at limited. They don't need practice.
Oh, yeah, that's probably fair.
The team dynamics are so difficult to get down, and you're under so much time pressure that it's good to get a few practice sessions in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, if we were done in 20 minutes, I would be kind of worried because it's like, maybe we're overlooking something or whatever, but we went the time.
Yeah.
And I do think we need some more practice before the tournament.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely do. But all right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Join us Wednesday again. Like I said, Majors Todd and Tom will be doing the same seal pool, building completely worse decks than ours. It'll be fun to watch. And Friday, we will embarrass them as we show them our perfect seal pool.
Sounds good.
All right. See you guys Wednesday.